the channel. Let's solve some numericals related to these concepts what we discussed in the previous videos. So let's consider that a transmission line having the inductance of 0.1 Henry and the resistance 5 ohm is suddenly short circuited at t is equal to 0. It means that momentarily, okay, initially it is closed. At the far end of the line, which is shown in the figure, we have a source voltage of V is equal to 100 sine 100 pi t plus 15. That is nothing but we know that is V is equal to Vm sine omega t plus alpha. So this is Vm, this is omega 100 pi. Okay, alpha value is 15. We need to obtain the following things. First one is expression for the short circuit current. Next is value for first current is maximum. Next one is instant of the short circuit, so that DC offset current is going to be 0. The next condition is it current is maximum. So this is the circuit. We have source voltage, then resistance and reactance, and the line is open. Okay, so this is similar to that what are the derivation we made transient on a transmission line. So we have to remember all the equations what we discuss in that concept. Okay, so let's solve this. First one we need to solve is expression for the short circuit current. So we know that we have the equation that is I of t is equal to Vm by Z sine omega t plus alpha minus theta plus sine theta minus alpha e to the power of minus RT by L. From given problem, okay, we know that R value is 5 ohm is already given, L value is given, omega is 100 pi. How do you got this? This is nothing but this uh, this is similar to that Vm, okay, Vm sine, okay, omega t plus alpha. Okay, so we can relate it to this equation. Based on this, what we can write it is omega value, omega t is nothing but 100 pi, okay, Vm value is 100 and alpha value is 15. Okay, so and also we know that Z is equal to root of r square plus xl square. Xl is nothing but omega L whole square. Okay, substitute this value, will get 31.8 ohm. It is in terms of ohm. And also power factor angle, we know that is a theta is equal to tan inverse omega L by r. Omega is nothing but 100 pi, L is 0.1, r value is 5, we will get 80.95 degree. So using these expressions we can get that, substitute all these things in this equation. Okay, so Vm value is 100, Z value is 31.8, omega value is 100 pi, alpha value 15, theta value is 80.95, similarly theta value is 80.95, alpha value is 15, okay, r value is 5 and L value is 0.1. So I have to compare this equation with respect to this equation. Okay, consider, if you want you can consider this is equation 1. So this is what the expression we will see in examination. Okay, so by substituting this we will get a 65.95, it is 2.87 e to the power of minus 50 by t, sorry 50 t. Next one is value of the first current is said to be maximum when we already solved this equation that. So when the current is said to be in maximum at t is equal to 0 and sine omega t plus alpha minus theta is said to be in 1. Consider this is equation 1. Okay, equation 1. So this is a part of this equation, sine omega t plus alpha minus theta is said to be 1 and t is also 0. So substituting all this in equation we will get that is nothing but maximum momentary current. So Vm by Z, so this part is said to be 1 okay, sine theta minus alpha. So e to the power of minus RT by L. So t is equal to 0, e to the power of 0 is 1. So we will get 1. Okay, sine theta minus alpha. We know that sine theta is 80.95. Alpha value is 15. Substitute, you will get 6.014 is the ampere. It means that at momentary, at the initial value, this much of the current which is flowing. Okay, then we have to calculate the next expression is for the short circuit current, okay, which is given the same equation. Okay, first part is done, second part we are looking into, that is nothing but DC offset current. Okay, so DC offset current is said to be in 0 when we have that sine theta minus alpha is said to be 0. Okay, this term is said to be 0, then it is said to be it is 0. Okay, then sine inverse the 0 is nothing but 0, that will get theta minus alpha will get 80.95. That is nothing but theta what we have is 80.95, so that is said to be in alpha. Okay, that is nothing but 80.95. We'll call it approximately, we can consider it is 81 degree. So this is the instant at which DC offset current is said to be in 0. Okay, then next one is DC offset current is said to be in maximum when sin theta minus alpha is equal to 1. Okay, or that is nothing but sine inverse of 1, that is nothing but 90 degree will get theta minus alpha is nothing but 90. So we have to calculate what is alpha value. Okay, so alpha is equal to theta minus 90. Theta value we know that 80.95, so this is 90. Okay, so we will get it is nothing but 9 point, is it right? Yeah, 9.05. Okay, so this is a 9.05 is nothing but approximately we can consider this is 9 degree. Okay, so this is nothing but the when the DC offset current is said to be maximum. Next numerical we have a synchronous generator and motor are rated for 30,000 kVA, 13.2 kV, and both have subtransient reactance of 20%. Okay, it's similar generator and motor are. The line connecting them has a reactance of 10% on the base of the machine. Okay, the motor is drawing 20,000 kilowatt at 0.8 power factor leading. Okay, it is 20,000 kilowatt. The terminal voltage of the motor is 12.8. So you have to be very cautious here. The motor terminal voltage is 13.2, but the base watt, if you considering that, it is 13.2. Okay, when a symmetrical three-phase fault occurs at the motor terminal, find the subtransient current in the generator, motor, and at the fault point. So first thing is that we have to draw a single line diagram. So based on this, what we can consider is there is a generator and the transmission line. Okay, is not mentioned what was the transformer it is. Okay, then the motor. Okay, so there is a fault which is going to take place at the terminal voltage of the motor. Okay, so that is nothing but okay, so there is something fault which is going to take place at this point. Okay, then let's solve this problem. And one more thing, whatever the values of the rating we are considering, it is 13.2 for the generator and motor, but working means working at 12.8 kV. So you have to remember all these values when solving. Okay, the equivalent circuit, okay, directly based on this I am writing this because no need to calculate that actual value and the base values are is it because this is not related, this is not required at this point. So based on this single line diagram I can write that. Okay, so generator reactance is 20% and the motor reactance is also 20%. That's nothing but 0.2, and the transmission line having the reactance of 10%. Okay, generator, transmission line, and the motor, and having the source of EMF is easy, and this is for subject to motor. Okay, so here we have written that EG double dash and it is EM double dash. So what does it mean that? So we are considering that the system is subjected to subtransient period. Okay, and there is a fault at this point, means terminal voltage. Okay, terminal of the machine means the motor. So altogether this is the reactance and the source of EMF. Consider it is terminal voltage. Okay, so this is nothing but we consider it is a V pre-fault. Okay, VPF is nothing but pre-fault voltage, and there is a load current of IL which is flowing into the line. Okay, so we have to consider that the important thing is the base MVA and the base kV. So here there is no doubt that we have to consider for the motor because we are working on the motor. So that's why I do have only option for generator and the motor, generator and the transmission line. Here the transmission line, it's not having any transformer, so that's why I'm going with the generator. Okay, this is very important how you need to select the base, right? The base values on the generator is 30 MVA. He has given that 30,000 kVA is nothing but 30 MVA, and the voltage is 13.2 kV. And the pre-fault voltage at the fault point means there is a fault which is going to take place on the motor which is working at 12.8. Do not get confusion between this base voltage and the terminal voltage, okay, of the motor. So motor is working at 20,000 kilowatt at a 0.8 power factor leading and 12.8 kV. So this is nothing but, so what is the working voltage of the motor? This will become terminal voltage. That is nothing but we can consider that it is a pre-fault voltage of 12.8 kV. Okay, so we have to convert on a base, means current value. So actual value of the voltage which is working at 12.8 and the base value of the voltage, okay, it is 13.2 because as mentioned in the problem. Okay, it is 13.2 of the generator and the motor. So actual value by base value will get 0.97 at an angle of 0. Why it is an angle? Because we don't have angle difference between the actual value and the base value. So this is very important to remember while solving the network. Okay, then next thing is that we have to calculate what is the current which is flowing. Okay, this is the current. I already told that. So because whatever the value of the voltage at this point and drop at this point, I can able to calculate what is the terminal voltage of the generator. Okay, because of the change in the load. So IL value we have to calculate. IL value is nothing but actual value by the base value. Okay, what is our base value? So base power we have, that is nothing but 30 megawatt, means 30 MVA. And what is the voltage? It is 13.2. Okay, so 30 megawatt MVA, sorry, 30 MVA divided by root 3, 13.2 into the power of 3, that's nothing, 1312 amperes. So you have to remember this. This is subjected to base current. Okay, then we have to calculate what is the actual value of the current which is flowing on the motor. What is the motor which is drawing the power? This is drawing the power at 20,000 kilowatt at 0.8 power factor leading. Okay, and what is the voltage? Voltage is 12.8 kV. So there is nothing but 20,000 divided by root 3, 12.8 kV into 0.8. Okay, so here kilowatt divided by kV, so this cancels directly, we are taking, and this is the leading, it's not the lagging, it is the leading. Cos inverse of 0.8, you will get 1128 at an angle of 36.9 degree amperes. Okay, so this is actual value, this is the base value. I have to convert it into per unit value. We know that actual by base value will get in terms of per unit. Okay, 0.8594 at an angle of 36.9 degree per unit. Okay, so I told that we have the three different methods for solving this network. So one is by applying Kirchhoff law, another one is Thevenin's theorem, and we have another thing is matrix form. We are not going in the matrix form. One is the another one is Kirchhoff law. So compared to that, the Thevenin's theorem is somewhat better. So I'm going with Thevenin's theorem directly. Okay. So this is nothing but VPF. We are considering that it is the VThevenins because we have in a Thevenin's theorem we have some voltage source and the impedance of the network. Is it right? So that is nothing but VPF. Already we got that. This is 12.8. It is 13.2. You will get 0.97. So this is nothing but this is going to become an VThevenins. Okay. We have to calculate what is the Z-Thevenins. To know that Z-Thevenins, it is same as the figure 1. Okay, you can remember that. We have generator, transmission line and the motor. Okay, make the voltage source as short circuited, right? Voltage source as a short circuited. Okay, then we'll get this is the generator and this is transmission line, this is also motor. But you have to remember this important thing is where does the fault takes place? Fault takes place at this point. Okay, fault takes place at this point. So this should come in parallel to any of the network. Okay, so this is another one part of the circuit and this is another part of the circuit. So this is nothing 0.2 and 0.1. You will get a 0.3 because fault is takes place at this point. So actually is nothing but we are holding the point midway. So how the tag is coming? Okay, resultant force which is acting, right? So this is what we will get 0.3 and this is a 0.2. These two are coming in parallel. Okay, Z Thevenin's is nothing but 0.3 and the 0.2 are parallel. So after substituting this value, we'll get J 0.12. Okay, hence we got this. This is nothing but V Thevenin's, the voltage source. Okay, we got this, the voltage before the fault which is going to take place, right? V Thevenin's, and this is the Z Thevenin's. Okay, so this is nothing but the equivalent circuit during the fault condition, the voltage and the impedance what we got, and this is the fault. Okay, because the voltage and the impedance, there is a current which is flowing onto the line, means at the fault point. Okay, I of, we are considering that I of double dash is nothing but subject to some transient period. Okay, so by this we can know that I is equal to V by Z. What is V value is 0.97, Z value is J 0.12. So we'll get 8.06 at an angle of minus 90 degree. For it, this you have to remember this. These values are in terms of the per rate. Okay. Then we have to calculate actual value, right? Actual value. So this is nothing but we have to calculate the actual value of the subtransient fault current in the motor and the generator. Okay, so this is very important. I told that I have mentioned while explaining that Thevenin's theorem, the last sentence. So once again, I'm reading out for your reference. Okay, so when there is a fault which is occurs, there is a change in the current supplied by the motor and the generator. Okay, this change is calculated by connecting Thevenin's voltage with a reversal polarity at the fault point which is shown. So this sentence is makes a lot of sense. Okay, reversed polarity at the okay, with the reversed polarity at the fault point which is shown in the figure, and here all the voltage sources are replaced by short circuit. Okay, so this is nothing but where does fault takes place at this point actually. Okay, at this point. So let's say consider that this is the generator and this is a motor and the transmission line. Actually there is a fault at this point. Okay, we have to change the polarity. Okay, this is a plus to minus, minus to plus. We have got the voltage source at the middle, means at the fault point. Then we have to calculate what is I1 and the I2. Okay, while calculating this, you make this separation, and while calculating this part, you make it this separation. Okay, so how I got this value of the I1? Because this is a source voltage, I am not considering I2 at this point. Understand? This is open, this is open when you're calculating. When you're calculating I1, it is I2 is get open. Okay, this point is open. So when you're calculating the I2, So this is at this point it is open. Okay, so I1, the what is the voltage is 0.97, the total impedance 0.2 plus 0.1, so you'll get a 3.23 at an angle of 90 degree. Why it is 90 degree? Because of J. Similarly, I2 is nothing but the voltage 0.97. What is the impedance? There is nothing but J 0.2. So we got that is 4.85 at an angle of minus 90 degree. So we have to calculate the subtransient fault current of the generator and the motor. Okay, so we have to be we have to see, okay, we have to remember that figure A. Okay, figure A. So it means that we have the generator at this point. Okay, we have, sorry, so we have the generator at this point. Okay, and the motor at this point, right? This is nothing but G. Okay, so that, okay, so generator at this point and the motor at this point. Okay, so what is mean that Ig double dash is nothing but it is going to supply the current to the fault point, because the current across generator is greater compared to that. So this is what the current is flowing. Okay, Ig double dash. Okay, this is nothing but Ig double dash is equal to what is the load current already, because we are considering that the current which is flowing right at this point, current which is flowing into the element, that's nothing but IL. Okay, the load current. So this is nothing but what again is Ig double dash is equal to IL plus I1. So this is stand for Ig double dash is equal to IL plus I1. So IL value already we have got that. So this is actual value. Already we got that. It's 0.8594, which is there in the previous slide. Okay, and the I1 we have got, this is a 3.23. So this value you have to remember this. This value is in terms of the current. Okay. So similarly, what is it? Im. Okay. So this is nothing but Im double dash. You will get that. Okay. So because I2 minus IL, is it right? Because Im dash is equal to I2 minus IL, because opposite to that. Okay. So this is nothing but Im double dash is equal to I2 minus IL. So already we have that I2 value and also Im value. So you'll get to 5.4095 at an angle of minus 97.3. Okay. So not at all. We have to calculate what is the actual value. Is it right? So Ig double dash is nothing but subtransient fault current across generator. So actual value, it is already we have got that, that's a 1312. Okay, and the subtransient fault current in the motor we have got, this is 5.409 at angle of minus 97. So this is also multiplied by the actual value, that is a 1312. Okay, and we have to calculate what is the subtransient fault current at this point which is going to flow. Okay, you have to see here Ig is 3673, Im is 7097, means which is I1, this is I2. All together there is a fault at this point. Okay, remember that there is a something, the grounding which is going to happening at this point. Okay, so this is a combination of, means adding of I1 and the I2 value. So let's check that. So we have that I of double dash. Okay, already we have calculated the I of value. It is 8.06 at an angle of 90 degree and multiplied by 1312. Okay, this is the base value. So we have, it is 10,581.3. So it is nothing but by adding up Ig double dash and Im double dash, we can able to calculate that is I of double dash. You can cross that. So if not, there is something wrong in that. So just to remember that at this point, if there is a fault which is going to take places, so this much amount of the current which is flowing in the network. So that's why, so to limit this, so we need a versatile, some means very fast acting devices, that's nothing but relays and the circuit breakers to protect our system. Otherwise, if there is a malfunctioning of that, so there is a possibility of the collapsing of the network.